Welcome. Is your partner making you feel like you're no longer sure what's real? Do they deny things even though you know the truth of what's said? Have you been wondering if you are experiencing gaslighting? I am so glad you are here today for this talk on the 3 unmistakable signs of gaslighting. We're going to look at what those are. We're going to do a brief self-assessment of common gaslighting phrases, and I'm going to leave you with several ideas on what you can do to empower yourself if you are experiencing gaslighting. If you or someone that you know is in a relationship that is not nourishing your soul, I am glad you are here. When you learn about gaslighting, it's going to help you identify toxic people more easily. And once you have this knowledge, you can empower yourself to have healthier and happier relationships. I've been in toxic relationships and I've been gaslit by my partners. And I know how confusing it can be when you're in the middle of this kind of relationship. Once I learned what was happening in my life began to change for the better. And I'm here today to share with you some of what I've learned so that you too can move forward into healthier and more nourishing relationships. Hi, I'm Olna Xara Sojourn. I'm an intuitive energy healer and empath coach. I have an empowered empath program and many resources available to you because it is my mission and my passion to help empaths break free from narcissistic abuse so they can eliminate confusion and live their most vibrant and joyful lives. Today, we're going to learn about gaslighting. And if you have experienced gaslighting in your life, you know the pain that it can cause. When you're gaslit, breeds feelings of confusion, you feel unseen, your emotional needs are often not met when you're dealing with a gaslighter. If you're experiencing gaslighting long-term, after a while with gaslighting, you may not even be sure what is real and what is not. You stop trusting yourself and you stop trusting your instincts. And if you've been gaslit for a while, you may even start to feel like you're going crazy. So we're going to talk about gaslighting, what it is, what it looks like. We're going to look at some common phrases that gaslighters use, and you can assess whether you're experiencing those in your relationships. And then we'll end with leaving you with some ideas on how you can empower yourself. If you find what I'm sharing resonates with you and would like to take what you learned today further, I do have 2 free resources available to you. The first is my free 7-page ebook. It's entitled 3 Surprising Signs That Your Partner is a Narcissist, and the #1 thing you can do to regain your power. This ebook is available to you at www.empoweredempath.us. Just what it says on the bottom of the screen here. You can go there and join to subscribe. You'll start receiving regular information from me, tips, tricks, videos, resources, and ideas on how to help you break free, and that will open the door to you to receive your free ebook. I also offer a free Empath Clarity Call. That's a call with me where we'll assess your relationship, see if it's likely with a narcissistic abuser, and if so, we'll unpack the next steps that you can take in order to break free from the narcissistic abuse cycle. If you're interested in an Empath Clarity Call, you can reach me by email at info@healingcollective.us. That's info@healingcollective.us. So let's return to our topic of gaslighting. What is gaslighting? Gaslighting is a form of emotional and psychological manipulation. The person who is doing the gaslighting is seeking to make their target question reality. They want to knock their target off balance emotionally and psychologically. Because when they do that, then that person is a lot more apt to turn their power over to the gaslighter. Anybody is susceptible to gaslighting, and having the knowledge and understanding of what gaslighting looks like is really important so that you can recognize the signs of it. One question that I often get from people is, why is it called gaslighting? And I want to tell you where that name comes from, because it's interesting, but also because it really helps explain what the term gaslighting really is. So the name comes from a movie from the 1930s that was called Gaslight. And in this film, it featured a married couple where the husband was interested in removing the wife from his life so that he could continue his life without her. So he hatched a plan to adjust the gas lamps, the lights in their house in the 1930s lit by gas, adjust the amount of gas that was in those lamps, and then the lamps would appear, were dimming. And the wife would say, husband, do these lights feel like they are not as bright to you? Oh, no, you must be imagining things. They are the same amount of light that they always were. And so he continued manipulating the reality of the light. He would continue to dim the lights and tell her that when she perceived a difference, that there was no difference. He would tell her the lights are still the same, even though they were, in fact, not. They were dimmer. And so he was really manipulating her psychologically and trying to make her feel like she was going crazy so that she could then be committed to a mental institution. So that was his plan. So that's what gaslighting is. It's this emotional and psychological manipulation where the gaslighter tries to get their target to question reality. Now, one of the things that's important to understand about gaslighting is that it's often done very slowly and over time. So the target doesn't realize what's actually happening. It's like a slow form of brainwashing that can cause the target to stop trusting themselves and stop trusting what they know to be true. They start to question reality. Oh, wow. The lights aren't dimmer. My husband said they're not dimmer, but yet they look dimmer to me. I must be losing it. They start to question reality. And when they do that, when you start to question reality, you start believing what's being fed to you by the gaslighter, you turn your power over to the gaslighter. And that is exactly what they want. That's exactly why they are gaslighting. So with that definition and background information on gaslighting, let's move forward and talk about the first of the 3 unmistakable signs of gaslighting. So the first one is lying. Lying, outright fabrication of lies. That's it. It's very simple. It's lies. So I'm going to give you an example. In this example, the narcissist tells their partner that they're going to have plans the following week on Wednesday. So they make plans for the following week on Wednesday. Well, the next week rolls around and the partner is like, oh, it's Wednesday, looking forward to our plans. And the narcissist lies. And the narcissist says, we don't have plans today. Our plans are for Thursday. They completely outright fabricate. And the second example that I want to share with you about lying, The narcissist and their partner have an experience where the narcissist takes the partner's car and drives the partner's car without permission, and without even mentioning that they're going to drive the car. And when they get back, they notice the narcissist noticed the partner looking at them like with this look of disbelief on their face, like, how could you dare to, take something of value of mine like this without even asking me, or just like took the key and went. And the narcissist looks at the partner and says, the narcissist notices the partner watching them. They notice their reaction on their face. And the narcissist says, you said to me, I could take your car whenever I wanted. You said it's no big deal. You said what's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. So I was just taking you up on that. You said it was okay. So in this case, we're looking at a narcissist that's doing something that's really inappropriate, and very disrespectful to the partner, that involves the narcissist getting some kind of a benefit. They outright lie about it and say that you've given permission for this, when in fact, you've never done such a thing. So these are two examples of outright lying. The second unmistakable sign of gaslighting is trivializing. Trivializing is when your needs are minimized or ignored. And this often happens when the partner of a narcissist mentions what their emotional needs are, or mentions that something's bothering them or something hurt them. And the narcissist will trivialize, minimize, and ignore the needs of the partner. So in the example I want to share, the narcissist did something very disrespectful to their partner. It was hurtful. And the partner shared with the narcissist how the partner felt about that situation. Their feelings were hurt. They felt disrespected, and they said that to the narcissist. And in this case, the narcissist, being a narcissist, responded by calling the partner crazy and too sensitive, overly emotional, dramatic, and needy. So the partner's feelings were never addressed. They were just completely trivialized. And you may notice in this example how the narcissist completely ignored how their partner felt. There was no acknowledgement of their feelings. There was no concern for the partner's hurt feelings, their feeling of being disrespected. Instead of acknowledging those feelings and talking about those feelings, the narcissist immediately shifts the focus on the partner and started putting the blame on the partner, saying things like, you're overreacting, you're too sensitive, that kind of a thing. So when a narcissist does this, they're trivializing the partner's feelings, and they're also avoiding taking responsibility for their actions, while also belittling the partner at the same time. And this is typical gaslighting behavior that you will see from a narcissist who is doing trivializing. One side note I'd like to make on the trivializing that's specific to gender roles. In our society, we are still kind of coming out of a place where women and people who identify as women or female are sometimes still looked down upon as being or stereotyped as being very emotional or very sensitive or very dramatic. And I think it's really important to recognize that although a narcissist can certainly be, male or female, there's no, firm rules on that. But when it's a situation where the target is a female or female identifying person, I think it's really important to be aware of these stereotypes that our society has held for a long time, and how a narcissist might employ those stereotypes to really kind of get their partner to believe like, oh, maybe I am too emotional. Everybody believes women are too sensitive and too emotional. Maybe I am too emotional. Maybe what they're saying is true about me. So I just want you to be aware, of that situation where, the target might question themselves more easily than if the narcissist had used non-stereotypical descriptors. So just a little side note there. So we've talked about the first two unmistakable signs of gaslighting so far. We've talked about lying and we've talked about trivializing. And now we're going to come to talk about the third one. The third one is incongruency. What do I mean by incongruency? I mean when the actions do not match the words. There's something that just isn't even about. It's like they say one thing and do another. The two don't match up. So the example I want to share in this case is a partnership between a narcissist and their partner, where the narcissist promised to help with a certain project. And the promise was not kept. The narcissist never helped with the project. The narcissist did not follow through on what they said they would do. It's a very simple example and something that's very common with gaslighting. It's like they'll say they're going to do one thing, but then their actions never actually match what comes out of their mouth. So when it comes to something like this with the incongruency, what can be really helpful in looking to see if this is a gaslighting situation with incongruency is looking at the patterns, looking at how often does this happen. Someone who is not gaslighting is not going to be having a pattern of saying one thing and then doing another, right? But a gaslighter that's going to happen frequently. They are going to regularly say one thing, but not follow through on it. So those are our three unmistakable signs of gaslighting. We had lying, trivializing, and incongruency. What we're going to do next is a little bit of a self-assessment. So this is just a casual self-assessment. What I'm going to do is I am going to read out loud to you a list of common gaslighting phrases. So these are things that you would hear from someone who is gaslighting you. And I want you you can keep score or keep a tally in your head or however you want to do it, but I want you to take notice of whether these phrases or something similar to them are words that you are hearing from your partner or someone in your life. So let's go ahead and get started. Common gaslighting phrases. Why are you upset? I was just joking. You can't take a joke. You are making a big deal out of nothing. Don't take everything I say so seriously. You are always twisting things. There you go, overreacting again. You are just too sensitive. You are crazy. You need help. You are reading too much into that. Why are you getting so upset? I never said that. I told you already. That's all in your head. There you go, making stuff up again. I never said that. I never did that. you need to just get over it. Move on. You're not sad. You're not angry. You need to calm down. I can't believe you would think that about me. I'm done discussing this. So those were some common gaslighting phrases. How often are you hearing these phrases from your partner? If it's often, very often, or all the time, I want you to take note of that, because these are common gaslighting phrases. Let's talk next about some things that you can do to empower yourself if you are dealing with a gaslighter. Well, first of all, you're here. Yay! Why am I so excited about that? Because you're educating yourself. You have somehow made your way to this video and you are learning about gaslighting. That is huge. And I'm so happy for you, because I know from my own experience, when you are in a relationship with a narcissist, before you understand what's going on, it is just so hard to understand. And it's very confusing and very disorienting. So you are here, you are learning, you are educating yourself. So good on you. You are starting to recognize the signs. You are learning about the signs and starting to recognize the signs of gaslighting. That's like one of the biggest things that you can do to empower yourself, is to really understand what it is and what it looks like. Because once you know, then you can start to identify it and recognize it in your life. Looking for patterns of gaslighting. So if you're experiencing gaslighting, my number one recommendation to you to empower yourself is to actually start journaling your experiences, okay? So when you experience gaslighting, if you're experiencing the lying, the trivializing, the incongruencies, every time you experience something like that, my recommendation to you is to write that down. Write down what was said, write down what happened, write down what your feelings were and what the experience was. I would keep a secret journal. That's my recommendation. Keep a journal, don't share it with your partner, and just record those things, because that is going to bring clarity to you. That is going to help you to see what the reality is. And you're going to start to see the patterns in your relationship when you start to write down what is actually happening and how you feel. So recognizing the signs of gaslighting, educating yourself, journaling and writing down the reality, and then coming back to that and like reading it. It's gonna, I promise you, if you are dealing with a narcissist and you start journaling, you journal regularly and you come back to that journal in like a month or two after you started and you look through, it is going to change your life, and it's going to help you on your path to breaking free from narcissistic abuse. So those are my top 2 recommendations on empowering yourself. I'm going to offer you a homework challenge, and my homework for you, if you choose to accept your homework, is to take the next 7 days to start observing any gaslighting that shows up in your life. Commit to 1 week of looking to see where these unmistakable signs might be appearing in your life. The lying, the trivializing, and the incongruencies. And just recording them in a journal. And then at the end of that week, going back and reviewing what happened, what was said, and how you felt. It is going to be transformational for you if you are experiencing a relationship with a narcissist. So, in summary, today we talked about in this video what gaslighting is, the pain that it causes and the harm that it causes. We talked about how to recognize gaslighting, the lying, the trivializing, and the incongruencies. We assessed some common gaslighting phrases and how to look at whether they rang true to being phrases that are showing up in your life. And then we talked about ideas to empower yourself. If you find what I've shared with you today has been helpful and it's resonated with you, and you'd like to learn more, I want to mention again the 2 free resources that I shared with you at the beginning of this video. The first one is my free ebook, 3 surprising signs that your partner is a narcissist and the number 1 thing that you can do to empower yourself. This ebook is available to you right now. You can go to empoweredempath.us, subscribe, where you'll get more content from me to help you break free from narcissistic abuse. And this will open the door to you to receive your free ebook. Empoweredempath.us, put your name and email in, and then you will automatically have access to your own copy of the ebook. The second resource that I offer to support you in your journey of breaking free from narcissistic abuse is a free Empath Clarity Call. This is a call where we get together and I will walk you through an assessment to look at whether your partner is likely a narcissistic abuser. If they are, we will work together to unpack next steps that you can take in order to free yourself from the narcissistic abuse cycle. I want to thank you for joining today and welcome you to share this video with others that you feel may benefit from it. I'm Olna Xara Sojourn, and I'm wishing you much love as you go on your journey of breaking free from narcissistic abuse.